is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. We're going to be diving into the Vosteed Gator. Let's get into it. Man, well, this is a big boy here today. I am going to, before I jump into any of the comparisons, thoughts, and impressions or anything like that, just in case you are wondering if this is something that you want, you will automatically know once this drops on the scale. This is nearly a 7-ounce knife. Definitely heavy, definitely a big boy, and it looks like with the thickness of the liners, it's meant to be used hard. So let's go ahead and jump into some size comparisons. I am going to start with a large comparison in my inventory. That's going to be the Mordax, and I am going to bring out the Civivi Praxis. As you can see here, the Gator is a much larger knife than both of these. I am also going to go ahead and bring out the Simcut Serene, which is another large knife that I have in my inventory. And then the last big knife that I'm going to do a comparison against is actually going to be the Spartan Harsey, which is going to be just a little bit shorter. Blade length is coming in almost identical, but the handle just a tad bit shorter. But again, I just wanted to do some large size comparisons so that you can get an idea or a frame of reference for this knife. And then I will do a couple of small ones just again for fun. Here it is against the Pony Stout, and then the Demko 80 20.5. Even though I consider that medium with the shark foot blade, it is smaller. So I think we got a good reference here for the size of the knife. We've established pretty well that it's a big guy, right? Now let's go ahead and jump into the knife. Outside of being big and heavy, the ergos are fairly comfortable. And in all honesty, this does kind of remind me of the Sheepdog and the Kaiser Towser. It reminds me a lot of the Towser. So you got this big knife with lots of room on it. The Sheepdog doesn't hang out the back quite as much. You got a big old spoon here for the fingers to land into. So someone like me that has large hands, this is going to be really nice because you're going to have plenty of space. You're going to have lots of options of how you're using it. You can move back for those chop tasks. You can choke up for the detail work out on the tip or for control power cuts. You can even, with larger hands, pinch grip this, and if you have long fingers like me, you'll land out right here on the top of the spoon, which is really going to be good for those draw cuts and utility cuts. Pinch grip, you're going to have a whole lot of blade left out there, but it's comfortable in hand, but it's going to be very, not detailed. You're going to be breaking into something, cutting into something where you want control and you want to be choked up, but you got a lot of blade left over. It's going to be really hard to get that detail work unless you're comfortable moving all the way out on here and you got the fingers kind of 2 on, 2 off. I guess that's the best way I can think of to describe it. When it came in, well, let's keep on with the ergos. Frag pattern feels nice. It's grippy, but it's also that hard micarta that's smooth, so it's not going to be like sawing going in and out of the pocket. You do feel a little bit around the edges here, so you might want to wet and just sand that down if you don't want to feel like that itchy scratchiness that you have on the edge of this type of micarta. You got a reversible deep carry style pocket clip that's not quite prioritized to be deep. I would have liked to see the lanyard pin in the frame or in between the liners, and then I would have liked to have the pocket clip go all the way out so that you can kind of have the lanyard hanging out of the back there and not really prioritized over the pocket clip. And then I think the insert would have looked nice too if they would have just bumped it up slightly and just leaving a little bit of micarta there so that you don't have to worry about if you want to flip these over that they don't match. So just a little bit of feedback there. You do have some milling going on the lock bar side, and then you have larger milling over here on the show side, which is what you're going to want to do with a knife this size to make sure that you have plenty of space. Your lockup is sitting at about 30 to 40% on the back of the blade. You got nice thick steel liners here as well. Relief cut on the inside, great access to the lock bar. So if you want to lay it down, if you want to squeeze in with the thumb and let it drop to the nail, or if you like to lift up with this one, you're going to be able to do all of that good stuff. Now, I will say there's no lock stick. does not appear to be any side-to-side play or up and down lock rock, so this thing is locked up solid. It has nice shake shut action, very controlled, which is impressive for a knife this size. You got the best type of jimping here for that front flipper, even though, you know, it does feel uncomfortable, and you 100% are going to want to be able to put this between the pad of your hand and your fingers, using that pocket clip to kind of help lock it down, and then the fingers hanging a little bit over on that lock bar. You're going to definitely want to use it that way, because if you try to do it from a grip position and you try to do it, it is going to be awkward unless you got really long fingers, and even then you're going to see that it's still kind of grazing that finger there. So you can do it, but it's not going to be as with much authority, in my opinion, if you have it in this position, which is, I say, the correct position for those front flippers. The back flipper also has that same style jimping. They carry it right on over and match it up, so nice. And then over here they jimped it so that you have something kind of helping grip with that first index finger. Nice acid etch style stonewash, looks really good. You have 14C28N blade steel. They have 2 sets of thumb studs. They have like a lower profile, so if I would say if you're not going to use the thumb studs but you want to fill the hole, it's going to give it a kind of a unique look. But I honestly say put the thumb studs on there and give yourselves that nimble X style multiple means of deployment with this one. Thumb stud, thumb flick. I think you can kind of use that fuller, but I'm slipping off of it. I would say it'd be better to use that thumb stud to deploy it. I think that's going to work a whole lot better. You have a fairly tall flat grind. It gets surprisingly thin behind the edge. It is not a super thick blade stock. It is thick, but being as big as the knife is, it's not so thick that you can't really use this. And just for a comparison, here it is against a Spartan Harsey. So you can see the Harsey looks like about the same thickness, or maybe a skosh thicker. And I could bring the calipers out here and do that, but I think a visual inspection is enough. It doesn't need to be that detailed, does it? Ceramic bearings in the pivot, so you got smooth action. I think that covers everything. Yep, I don't think we missed anything on this one. I'm not going to bother with any alternative recommendations. This is a big knife, and I think this is a niche knife. It's going to be fun to have in the inventory. It's affordable. It'll be a conversation piece when you break it out. That really should cover everything with the Vosteed Gator. Vosteed has been doing great quality work. I know there's some type of thing going on with Kaiser. I think in the beginning maybe Kaiser was making the knives, and then I think they rented or bought some space in the Kaiser facility, so they may be still getting parts from Kaiser, because a lot of this does feel like Kaiser type of build. But you know, if Vosteed is doing it on their own, it's good quality. If it's coming from Kaiser, it's good quality. So it really doesn't matter. If you like this and you want to pick it up and it appeals to you, it feels very well made. Let me know your thoughts on the Vosteed Gator down in the comments below, and a shout out to everyone out there for leaving a like, a comment, and being subscribed. I appreciate the support. You guys are amazing. I love you, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.